Lovers, it's me, your Captain Vasco speaking. Hi, hello, and welcome. It is Saturday, August 15th, 2026, and now we have completed the game Locomotive. But we haven't completed the train games that were promised. And as a result, tonight we will be playing. It's just, okay, so there's not. So the thing about Cosmic Express is that, as far as I know, it doesn't really have a title screen. Like, I loaded it up to try and balance the audio a little bit, like a month ago, I think, is when I first did this. And yeah, I think there's like a little animation at the start, and then like if you don't like immediately do the tutorial, this is what happens when you turn on the game, which like isn't ideal, but you know, these are more streamer problems than anything else. Okay, so Zagula was saying that he's being accosted by mosquitoes in the lobby of the hotel where he's currently working. Nobody tell his boss. There's so many plants in the lobby, all real, all get watered multiple times a week. Wet and sheltered by foliage, it's kind of warm in here. So, okay, so the mosquitoes, like, take shelter. I see, I understand. I thought you were saying that in some way the plastic plants would repel mosquitoes, and I was like, tell me about this technology. I don't understand it, but I live in a place where mosquitoes exist. I agree, though, that indoors and around people is a bad place for mosquitoes, and obviously no one wants that. Merry Christmas. I see Evie, so Christmas must be coming. Christmas is always coming, except when it's here, in which case it will be coming soon. They just breed in the pots. That sounds like even more like horrible and dystopian than it is, which is impressive because it's bad and I hate it. Yeah, so on the subject of bugs and the outside, so I mentioned yesterday on stream the ordeal about having to replace my mailbox because some guy in my neighborhood hit it with his truck and then left his truck on his front lawn, and then I called the sheriff's office. And like ultimately the mailbox was replaced, but it was just sort of blank, and so you know my mom had noted some requirement, probably a soft requirement, that the post office is like, you need to have like your street number on your mailbox, and I'm like, it makes sense to replace this, it was on there before, the new one should have it. And like she had already gotten some supplies to sort of like manage this task because like the numbers that were on there originally when I moved in kind of got like obscured is probably not the right word, but like worn out by the hurricane in 2024, the year I moved here. And so like we already had some of these supplies, and so my mom was like, we should just like do that while we're thinking of it. And I was like, you know what, that's probably smart and correct. And so like she was there to sort of help me manage the task of just like, it's a little tedious, it like requires like a little more than two hands to get it done efficiently. And like it was just this like complete oyster carnival where like allegedly the humidity today here was 69%, and I regret to inform you that it was not nice. The combination of the actual temperature, which was something like 95 degrees, with the humidity was very bad, and I hated it a lot. And so just like standing still outside, sweating profusely, and then like as I'm trying to like delicately like peel these like reflective stickers off this like sheet and then carefully adhere them in a way that will like keep them level and make them look reasonable at a distance or whatever, I'm just like accosted by like gnats or some other like small, I'm fairly certain none of them were mosquitoes. It hasn't been super wet here, and like it's really weird. Like mosquitoes definitely exist in Florida. It's like swamp territory, but like it has to be kind of a lot of moisture where I'm at for the mosquitoes to kick up. This is my experience being here so far. Um, and like they were like there was a point, and I think my mom can attest to this, where like one was like kind of just like hovering like directly in front of my face while I'm like trying to do this task. I'm like, this is not natural animal behavior. Like this is some like targeted freakish nonsense that I do not appreciate. What is your proximity to alligators? I mean, I've been told by people who were raised in Florida that you should treat every body of water that you're not like intimately familiar with as potentially containing gators. So in that regard, the nearest one is like maybe half a mile down the road, and one should probably assume that that is true. So, what are you doing? I'll go out in air conditioned bee suits in the summer. I don't know how you exist outdoors in America. I mean, I here's the thing I genuinely don't know. Like, obviously, climate change is real. Anyone who says otherwise is truly a buffoon, as far as I'm concerned. I try to equivocate a little bit and be inclusive, but I mean, let's get real. If you look at any chart about the environment, it just sucks to be outside ever, and like it just simply didn't used to be as dramatic as this. There's no accounting for this other than climate change, and I feel like it's consistently really bad, pretty much all over the U.S. And I do think it affects other places. I'm not sure if there are parts of the world that get it worse than others. I have an impression it might be a little worse in the US. Maybe something to do with like the starting point of the climate or something. I don't know. I really don't know. But it does suck here. Maybe the inherent suffering of the outside in the US is like one of the reasons why air conditioning is sort of established as like a norm, like an essential norm around here. Um and let's not talk at all about the fact that like I did like a whole like nice application of the stickers, and then I realized that I had my mailbox flag up when doing this for some reason, unbeknownst to me. And then I lowered the flag and it completely covered all the numbers I did, and I was like, oh, well, task failed successfully, I guess. It's only real if you believe in reality. I know that's true. Um, I feel like I had some other possibly bug related anecdote to relate. I feel like I've been accosted by them lately. Most of them are not fun stories. They're just sort of like, ooh, a bug in a place that's not pleasant. It makes me unhappy. Um, how is everyone? I mean, this is a great stream to hang out and chat, I think, because I imagine that this is not a very time sensitive game. Oh, one thing I should talk about is, again, regrettably, this game. Okay, I don't know why it's taking a minute to pick up. Regrettably, this game does not have like a convenient title screen, which I wish that it did. Um, but it is worth noting that I got this game for free. And the reason for that is that the publisher of Cosmic Express is Draknek and Friends. And Draknek and Friends are also the folks who host the Cerebral Puzzle Showcase. And after I did the demo for Slime and the Ice Machine as part of the Cerebral Puzzle Showcase, the woman who organized it was like, "Oh, thank you for doing that. If you would be interested, we at Draknek and Friends would love to extend to you like some cool games." Um, and they said like I didn't like have to stream them or do anything in particular with them, but they were just sort of like, just like a thank you because they're digital products and we can generate keys and whatever. And I'm like, that's really cool. And I wanted to show some of them off on stream because like a bunch of them actually seem super duper cool. In fact, most of them seem cool, and like a few of them maybe just aren't in my wheelhouse, but like none of them don't seem cool that I can remember. Um, so like hashtag not sponsored, but did receive this for free, and it was like one of the reasons why I like wanted to do some train games was to like be able to incorporate this. I thought it would be fun. It was almost comical when we lowered the flag. It's true, like if it wasn't such a process of suffering, it would have been very funny. And externally, it probably was very funny if someone was to have watched that as like part of a movie or something. But regrettably, experiencing it like in the moment was very, very upsetting. Like so many things. How do I feel about the volume of the music relative to being able to talk about it, do you think? Obviously, there's room to adjust it later. Hey, check out what the menu looks like. It's kind of like Constellation inspired. It's a little interesting. you know, we got an about, which I think connects, is probably links you to like their publisher Steam page. You got their credits. For some reason, X doesn't take you back to the menu. I won't look at the achievements because I don't want to spoil that. But, you know, we got our settings. I don't know what I expect reduced motion to do. I'm going to leave that off for now. But if we see an opportunity to make use of that, sounds good. I think the volume's good. I don't know, man. And then we got progress. And before we start, we're going to clear progress because I think it... I don't know. I want to make sure that it restarts whatever the tutorial experience is. Again, hashtag streamer problems, but like I do kind of wish that there was just like a normal homepage. I just think they're neat. I'm currently convinced I want a pet beetle, but I haven't decided on what kind. How long is that list, Zacula? Have you narrowed it down to like 2 or 3 varieties of beetle, or do you just think beetle in general would be interesting? Also, like, what kind of food do you have to stock for a beetle? Climate change affects everywhere a little differently. Even without climate change, the climate of a lot of the USA is humid subtropical. So even before climate change, those summers are grim. Yes, I think that's like part of what I was trying to drive at. But yes, yeah, that sounds right. UK's base climate is temperate with mild summers and winters and no dry seasons. So even a slight change throws everything off. We've been in a drought for just a couple of months without regular rain. Yeah, I mean, and like, I don't know if this extends to like the entirety of the United States, but like it's kind of just been like drought season like everywhere I've been, in most places I've sort of like had an awareness of for like at least a decade. I don't know, it just seems like everywhere is right. And I mean, like, there's like tropical style rains in Florida sometimes. We're in this, 'tis the season for tropical summer rains, and like even at that, like it hasn't been like a super wet year. Zacchaeus says the issue is that my favorite is the Eastern Hercules beetle, but they're only a beetle for like 6 to 8 months. They're a grub for like 3 years, and that's kind of lame. I'd agree with that. That is a disproportionate investment of time, I think. You feed them beetle jelly. That sounds like a fictional like RPG substance that you craft from some other thing. Drought is something the UK isn't really used to dealing with because we're normally such a wet little country. I'm not sure that Daddy approves of the way that you've written that, but at the same time, I understand the notion because of the stereotype of it always raining in the UK, which sounds kind of pleasant for the most part. Especially if it's not like a super heavy tropical rain, which can be fun, but also can be annoying for various reasons. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and clear progress. Yes. I meant it in the most innocent of ways. How dare you? I mean, listen, I know that Florida is south of the UK. I'm just saying that if I went to the UK, I could get wet down there. No, that's not the button I want, but here you go. It is what's the eve after? What's that called? What's the opposite of the eve? Where it's the day after our affiliate anniversary? And Cotillion, who, what is our threshold now? 109 months resubbed at tier 3. That's insane, Cotillion. Thank you for the ongoing sub there. Even had a carryover message about the affiliate anniversary. I meant to hit the thing that takes me to this, and really gotta just put I could get wet down there on like the first tab of this thing. It doesn't belong in the
get wet down there.
It doesn't belong in the second one because I need it more than almost anything on the soundboard. Oh, hey, look. When I cleared the progress, we went back to like what pretends to be a homepage. So now is the time. Now is train time. Choo choo. I'm not sure any of the games I've played on stream have like an especially good choo-choo sound effect. I mean, I like the ting-ting, but like even if I like recorded a really clean ting-ting from Dwarf Romantic, I don't think that it would like have the impact I want it to have. Anyway, let's play Cosmic Express. I've played none minutes of Cosmic Express. It seems like it's one of those puzzle games that like doesn't have any language, which I think are really neat. I think there's something really cool and valuable about a game that like, even if it has a tutorial, like doesn't have to use language to convey something. Like, I don't know, I have a real fondness for this concept. I didn't mean to make it curved, but I did for fun, I guess. That alien turned into like a whole hotel. Also, those sound effects rule. Those are very good and satisfying. Still think some of the Herman Merman book titles should go in name game. I mean, my inclination is there's a really good like Herman Merman declaring his own name, Herman Merman Detective Extraordinaire. And then there's Herman Merman Master of Disguise, where he's like using the fake woman's voice, which is really good. Like those I think are like slam dunks. I don't feel as strongly about any of the other characters. And there's like one or two like fun names to say, but they're not really memorable characters. So I don't know if it's like worth the trouble of tracking those down. But like those I think are really easy. The book names, like, I don't know. There's a couple in there that aren't like human names, but I feel like the essence, the spirit of name game is that most of them should really be names or like really close to name adjacent. The book titles I feel like strain that. You let me know if anything is too loud. I like the like I don't think there's gonna be any dialogue in this. The music is very atmospheric and the sound effects seem really good. We'll play it out. Just let me know. Also, if there's a better corner, let me know. But I think like all the corners are pretty clean for the most part. I think everything is really centered in the middle of the screen, which is also kind of a nice feature for the puzzle game. Chris said, I wanted badly to ask you not to add Herman Merman Master of Disguise due to his awful voice, but I didn't want to risk giving you the idea if you hadn't already considered it. But Neko, he's the Master of Disguise, and also he has a very convincing voice that had everyone convinced that he was a woman in the coat that the dead woman was wearing. Devotion, thank you for the 5 gift subs, and welcome to the stream. I hope you have enjoyed your dinner of steak with mushrooms, bruschetta, and asparagus. Did you make that yourself? Was that a family endeavor? Made it yourself? Oh, nice, nice. So you've missed little in terms of gameplay. We did the #1 tutorial level. I think if I like... Do I have to do them like one at a time, or can I pick up 2? I guess I only have 1 car. Is that the problem? Let me restart. I mean, the game is probably trying to teach me this, but like, I don't know. I've sort of intuited this by looking at it, that maybe that's not correct. Let's take a look at how this does. Right. I'm feeling like maybe I could turn sound effects down a little. How do you feel? His outfit was almost flawless, but his voice did not sound pleasant. But it was the perfect disguise, you understand. Let's go to like the slide bar admittedly is a little finicky. Also, if you don't get it just right, it closes the menu, which is not exactly my intent. Let's try that. Let's try that for a minute. Interesting that I've unlocked 3 and 4 now. Let's do 3, I guess. Might be a little low. I feel like that's a little closer to what I want, though. This feels like I want like a big vertical zigzag. Right behind unscheduled 45-minute nap due to box packing. I hear that, brother. So I think it's like, do this, hit this, get this guy, bring him up here, hit this guy, bring him down here, go up to there. Ting ting. It made it ting ting. Oh, good. There's an ad in here now. Did that guy become a balloon building? Did that alien spider become a balloon building? Initial thoughts? Like, the vibes are impeccable. Like, I was saying that I really like the sound design is really good. I like that it is a puzzle game that presents itself really straightforwardly and requires, like, no verbal explanation. Like, there's no text in the game so far other than the word Andromeda and the menu. And I guess the title for a hot second. But, like, we're obviously not very far in it. Initial thought is ting ting. That's well put, Neko. So, okay, I have a thought. Can I, like, do that? No, that's gonna be a problem, right? Like, because if I have to, like, go around, I'll, like, never get out again? I'm guessing Z takes me back to the main menu if I, like, can't work it out. If you get, like, Baba is defeated. Maybe I can, like... Yeah, that seems promising. Because I, like, pick him up here and then drop him off, and then without doubling back, hit the other guy. I think that'll work. I also just love the look of, like, the environments. There's something just so appealing about the visual design. The little aliens, the little trains, the domes, the little tracks. I don't, like, the second I saw this, I just, like, really wanted to play it. But since you missed it, Demolition, I did get this for free because I got a few Steam codes from the Draknek and Friends publisher of this game, who are the same folks who put on the Cerebral Puzzle Showcase. It was very generous of them to do that, and I've been looking forward to playing this. As a result. Oh man, look at how sloppy this is. Oh, that's gonna be tough. Hmm. It's also at a 90-degree angle for the first time, which is interesting. I wonder if that reflects the overworld map. I haven't paid that much attention so far. Thank you for the very thematically appropriate hype train, Demolition. Thank you. And rest assured, even though Twitch says it's only visible to me, I've collected all of the level 1 emotes, which is almost certainly solely because of Demolition's presence in chat. Hi, Sarah. Welcome to the stream. We're playing Cosmic Express, where we deliver aliens to matching train stations so that they can become buildings. I guess the orange guys become restaurants, huh? Because there's like a fork and plate and knife on their boxes, and the multiple vertical eye aliens become like an apartment building. Is this like a zigzag and forth? Is that something? Let me try this. So I pick him up, and then drop him off, and then pick this guy up, and then drop him off, and then pick this guy up. How would I ever get back? No, that's... no, this isn't possible, right? Because if I then, like, go to drop this guy and pick him up, then there's no way to ever hit the exit? Can you, like, right-click to delete something? Or something along those lines? Not exactly, but kind of? Okay. I feel like there's some subtle trick to this. We're not that far in, so it's probably not all that complicated. Hugging the edge, maybe it's a matter of prioritization. Maybe pick you up and then drop you off, and then pick him up and drop him off, Yeah. And then pick this guy up and then drop him off. And then pick this guy up and drop him off. And then leave. Yeah. I don't know why. I mean, I guess it's thematically it's probably just supposed to be that like they start a little alien business where you put them or whatever. But it's interesting. Like the fact that they like transform instead of just like going into like their own house or something more straightforward is interesting. It doesn't look to me like there's anything on the map that would suggest like the 90-degree angle. This map is really curious and interesting because like I can jump straight to 10 and 11 or I can just keep going in order. But like multiple of these like lead off the map and then 8 leads up to like 2 other domes that just exist here. I feel like I remember in like a trailer on the Steam page that you may eventually get more than one like passenger car. I'm kind of just assuming for now that I can't hold more. Do you want to test that? You want to do some science? What if we try to just like pick them both up and drop them off? Like obviously I would lose, but like do I pick up 2? No, he just ignores it. So that's a safe assumption. And then you can't go home again. Okay. Do you think the big numbers are trained boss battle? That would be really funny. This like super chill, like non-violent puzzle game has some like enormous, hectic, like bullet madness boss fight where like a train is just like firing like shotgun spreads of laser bullets at you. The houses are going to be noisy with these track layouts. They have no room for space gardens. I mean, there might be space gardens in the buildings. I'm not sure if the buildings are to scale after all. It's kind of awkward that these guys are like right next to each other. It's just like these maps are like pretty small, so it's like kind of tough to I don't know what the idea here is. Like I can do this, but then like how would I ever like reach either of the orange guys? And then like on top of that, if I just flip it, I have the same issue with the orange ones. It's probably something like pick up the second one. No, that can't quite be it either. Wait a minute. Pick up him, drop him off. That doesn't have to, like, double back. But then, which of these purple guys do I want first? Obviously, I gotta drop, like, the higher one off. Would you live in a little dome in space? I think I would. I mean, like, I'd like a certain amount of technological advancement so that it's not, like, the first ever dome built in space. That sounds kind of stressful. But, like, the aesthetic of this game suggests that it's, like, cool and normal for aliens to live in a little dome in space. And it looks so nice here. I don't know. Everyone seems pretty chill. They're, like, waiting indefinitely for me to send a train their way, but, like, they all seem really patient about it. Eka says, imagine the train boss battles have you taking passengers through a bullet hell while you hear ominous choir in the background and see a health bar. Like, that sounds, like, pretty similar to what I was thinking, yeah. That also kind of sounds like something that would happen in... What's that game called? Like, Number Frog? Does anyone know the one I'm talking about? It's, like, kind of a famous, nonsensical game. Fraction Frog? I'm close here. I think the orange thing is right. Drop that off, pick him up. Gotta be careful with the purple ones, because you can't really double back with how much space is here. I feel like I'm supposed to pick up the back guy first, but if I do that... How do I both drop off the second one and reach the exit? do
Did
this.
somebody say birthday?
But I can't double back. Did somebody say birthday?
Olé!
Just keep snaking. Oh yeah, cause then, so you drop him off here. And then it doesn't matter that you've hit it once, you get it on the way out. Yeah. I have no idea how long this game is intended to be. I love the vibes though. This is really what I wanted to, like, I've been really enjoying Locomotive. I'm glad that we played through that. I'm glad other people like that. Oh, it's a new I kind of thought that might just be like a whole screen. So it's just like one big old map then, I guess. But like, man, like I got really worn out from getting all sweaty doing a super basic task outside where the bugs are, and I was, you know, really happy to look forward to this like chill out game. I'm doing them in order. I might change that up at some point, but like it seems like it's scaling pretty well. Do you think these aliens have locomotives too? Let me just say real brief, like I really, you know, I had my grievances with like that, like a small sort of contained segment of the game. Then the rest of it was like kind of in the confines of like a couple of the things were a little fiddly, but overall was good. I do think that the title Locomotive is a weird choice. Like I get that it's supposed to be like kind of like a kooky like mystery on a train, but like if we're being honest, the mystery was not really the crux of the story, and the motive was super basic and not at all loco. So like I just feel like Locomotive would be a better title to describe a different kind of game, you know? We played Railbound. I don't think I know Railbound. Oh, interesting. These folks are at odds, huh? Probably need to start by picking up purple? Or maybe not. No, maybe not. But is there enough space to do like an internal loop and then an external one? Let me try something. Let me do like this I think is important. And then keep it real close. But then I would need to be able to like double back in a way that I don't think is possible. This feels like a good start though. Factorio is kind of a train game if you get far enough into the tech tree. No disrespect to the many enjoyers of Factorio. I know several people who are into Factorio. That game looks like torture. Like, that game looks like not fun at all to me. Like, it has a bunch of elements that I think I should like, but like, anytime I see someone play it, I'm like, this looks miserable. Like, I already have difficulty managing my human time on Earth. This looks like a device that's like, oh, so you think you know how to do anything, huh? Screw you. I actually want to see something. Obviously, this track isn't finished. I haven't been paying attention. What happens to the space the alien was on when I pick him up? Well, that's obviously problematic to begin with. But the space is occupied, is the answer to the question. So... can I... yeah, maybe I can, instead of that thing... do like do this, no, not you. Do this kind of internal loop? But I still don't think there's enough space then, huh? Because I'd have to be able to go out and around and then back. But maybe... if I did... Hmm. That won't do it either. That won't do it either. There's just not enough space to get there and back again. Zachary says, I will say, as much as I like Factorial, in the later stages of the tech tree, it does reach a point where it gets too complicated for me and I just want to give up. It holds no appeal for me at all. And like, I'm not trying to say you shouldn't enjoy it if you do, but like, I've known several people to play it. Interestingly, not one of them has ever actually recommended it to me that I can remember. But like, I think several people have been like, oh yeah, Factorial, I love that game. And they'll like ask them about it and they'll like describe it mechanically, but no one's ever like, it's such a great game, you should play it, or you should try it. They're just sort of like, it's a thing I play a lot of. Which like, I think is intentional or deliberate in some way. I just wish that this was the alien and that was the train station. But frankly, I don't even think I'm smart enough to make that work. Ooh, weird thought. Can I... There wouldn't be space, though. I was thinking, like, if I pass the orange station to leave an external track to drop off the orange guy. But I don't think I can make that work. Is this anything? Wait. That works, right? I pass this, I pick up orange, and loop back and drop off orange, and then pick up purple. Yeah, that works! I did it! You found it! Every now and then in Pokemon Champions, I play with the Pokemon called Zoroark, who has the ability to look like a different Pokemon, and it like displays like them and has their nickname. But I give him the nickname You Found It, so that when his disguise wears off, then that's the message my opponent gets. Like I said, currently I'm playing Assassin's Creed Shadows, the Japan one. I didn't know there was one called Shadow. I'm like way out of the loop on that. Basically, I have all the same problems with it as every other Assassin's Creed game after Syndicate. But also, Yasuke is a machine that turns enemy combatants into paste, and that is very fun. I mean, Assassin's Creed's always been kind of a mixed bag for me. I didn't play the very first one. I played like 2, 3, and 4, and then like after that, like mostly what I saw from the series wasn't really keeping my interest. I mean, to be honest, like when 4 was the pirate one, and I kind of thought it was like okay. Oh no, that's not true. I also played, what's the name of the one set in like American colonial times? I don't think that was like a numbered one. I think that was like a side quest one or whatever. And then I didn't even pay attention to the fact that they start again at 1 when you get to the next system. Let's go to 8 and see what's going on up here. Hey gang, what's up with this? Are those like turntables? Do they turn me back around? There's like multiple tubes and like none of them is an exit. Normally the exit like extends out of the level, doesn't it? Oh, this looks hard, man. Psycho says, I'm firmly of the opinion that one of the biggest mistakes in gaming made by a big studio with a high-profile IP was Assassin's Creed moving out of strictly urban environments. I'll agree with you on that. It's moving out of urban environments. Like, I think it's okay to have, like, parts of the game take place in maybe some, like, fringier elements that aren't heavily urban, but, like, that is a game that, like, kind of demands for an urban scenario to, like, make sense. And like, yeah, you know, like a lot of the stuff after a certain point it felt like it lost focus of that, and that was like around the time I was tuning. Like even like like both Black Flag and the whatever the 3 was. Yeah, I guess 3 was Colonial America. I played. I thought it. Wait, no, was it? I thought there was like. I thought like 3 tied up the main story, and for some reason I really didn't think that was with like the Native American character. I'm probably just wrong. Is it necessary to use the turntables? Well, that ain't gonna work, is it? I do want to see something, though. Actually, I want to see 2 things. I'm gonna let it run after I route this. I want to see if well, I guess this would demonstrate it too, right? If I pick up a guy while touching a destination, does it drop him off there immediately? And also, since there's no, like, exit track, what happens when I get... I mean, I guess it won't show me if I don't meet the level threshold. You know what it probably is? It's probably a Star Fox branch is what it probably is. Pick him up. Drop him off. Pick him up, drop him off. Pick him up and drop him off. Okay, okay. This is useful data. No, wait, that actually routes it correctly. That actually ends the level. Why did I think that wouldn't work? So yeah, that only unlocks the 1 path. That's really interesting. That's interesting. That's interesting. What a neat little... What a tiny microscopic storytelling choice. 3 was Colonial America, 4 was Pirates, 5 was France, 6 was England. Isn't there like a... God, I feel like there was like a... gladiatorial one, and then like an Egyptian one or something? Aren't there like just like a trillion of them? Contains history of Colonial America, and they pivoted hard on 4 because people like the ship Oh, that's right, the ship started in 3. I forgot about that. I'm not sure I finished 3, to be honest. I got like reasonably far in it. My favorite thing about it, though, I played it on the Wii U, because I had a Wii U and I was trying to make fetch happen. But my favorite thing about it, and I don't remember if this is true in the other versions of the game, but like the Wii U gamepad had like a dedicated horse button where you could just call your horse to you, and I just found that endlessly amusing. Just press the horse button. So I guess it's truly the amount of time spent running across flat ground in modern Assassin's Creed game would have been unfathomable while playing the first one. Yeah, like I don't... I mean, this was a concern I had going into 3, when I was like, I like Colonial America as like a storytelling period of historical fiction. Like, that sounds interesting. And then, like, playing it, like, it did work, like, better than I expected, but there was kind of just, like, a lot of situations where it's like, yeah, I mean, there's, like, one house and a tree, I don't know. It's obviously not a highly developed region at this point in history. So now I got to figure out a way where I end over here if I want to unlock the other exit in the other level. Can I reverse engineer that? I guess I can. So that's like orange exit to orange guy, and then I need like purple exit to purple. No, I want to do it the other way, I think. It's a purple guy. And then orange exit to orange guy, and then purple exit to purple guy. I think that works. Get orange, drop orange off. I assume I can pick up purple at the same time. Maybe we'll learn together. No, wait, sorry. Pick up purple, drop purple. Get orange, drop orange, pick up purple. Drop off purple, pick up orange, drop... I think that works. It also helps that the call horse button wasn't just like a face button. There was like a little tiny picture of like a horse, as if like, you know, like a chess piece in the corner, and you press it and the horse appeared. I don't know, it made me very happy. I'm a stupid gamer. It honestly has like a similar kind of like iconographic vibe that like a game like this uses. So what's interesting about this, right, is if you follow the like number sequence, which I don't know if is like intended difficulty, then you get up to 8, and then the one that I apparently thought was more difficult to ascertain leads you to 9. But then like after that, there's like 10, 11 down here, and then you come up to 13, and I guess this is 12, which is actually also confusing. How's everyone feeling about the trailer for season 2 of Ahsoka? I didn't know that they had revealed one, to be honest. This is bigger than the levels have been so far. Sure feels like I should pick up a purple guy first. Don't know if that's true.
Did someone say birthday?
Did they? Did someone say birthday? Is it Ahsoka's birthday? So soon?
Ole!
Pick up purple, drop off purple. That ain't it. Drop off purple. Pick up, no. Probably just like... Which purple do I pick up? If I intersect them like this, which one do I get? That might be relevant. My main takeaway is a lot more Hayden Christensen Force Ghost. And I think that's neat. I'm not necessarily as generically pro Hayden Christensen Force Ghost, but I did think that part of the last season was, like, effective. I don't know. I'll be honest. I didn't get heavily into Clone Wars, which may be why I'm not as invested in some of the, like... I don't know if it's excessive to call them, like, more fringe modern Star Wars stuff. I did see some trailer for something today. I can't remember what it was now. Drop him off. Hang on. Pick up a purple, drop off a purple. Pick up a purple, drop off a purple. Pick up an orange, drop off an orange. Pick up an orange, drop off an orange. Pick up a purple. Leave. Now the only problem is, if I pick up this purple, I think that doesn't work, but otherwise this looks good. Okay, great. That worked exactly the way I wanted it to do. Now, whether I actually planned that all correctly remains to be seen, but it's looking good. It's true, there are a lot of trailers going on, and I'm probably not keeping track of everything correctly. I'm cautiously optimistic for more live-action X-Men. Any of you who've been watching X-Men 97 know that Season 2 is considered kind of contentious, and I think that is a fair assessment. Although I enjoyed it. It probably should have been better, but I liked it. Okay, hang on. Assassin's Creed Timeline Extended. So, 3 is Colonial America, 4 is Pirates, 5 is France, 6 is England, then Ancient Greece, Ancient Egypt, Norway, parentheses, Viking, China, Russia, Baghdad, and a gaggle of spin-offs. That's too much. I know that they went to the, like, preponderance model of just, like, every year we have to have an Assassin's Creed. And, like, when they, like, officially made that decision, I was like, you cannot pay me to get interested in this. Look at this. Look at these gentlemen. I mean, isn't this just like a fancy old zigzag? Pick up a second guy, drop off a second guy. Pick up a third guy, drop off a third guy. Pick up the last guy. I need to get the second to last guy, right? Is the way this works? Unless there's some trick. Maybe there is a trick. Because it's like, pick up... Yeah, this is goofy. I think what I want is like... I want to pick up this first guy and then like drop him off here. And then drop this guy at the second. And drop this guy at the third. Doesn't that end up with the same problem though? Like, I think the issue is, without like, I'll let this play out to prove the point, but I think like this gets offset and like one of these guys in the middle I don't pick up. I think it's like the third one. Like, this feels clever, but I don't think it solves my problem. And that's the fourth one. The fourth one's the problem. It's interesting how close that is, though. You know what's nice about this? There's various different ways to do a puzzle game. This is like clearly like a chill vibes puzzle game. It's like very friendly and cartoony and cute. I like that the fail is just that the train kind of just stops. It doesn't explode, it doesn't make an angry noise, it doesn't say you died or you lose. You just like reach the other tunnel and it's like, oh, you didn't do it. Try again. I feel like there's some... I feel like I'm close to having a notion of a clever way to handle it. What if I like only use the very outermost? Now that still wouldn't give me the opportunity to... I like how straightforward this looks and how it's actually pretty tricky. Yeah, nobody gets hurt or damaged. You're just moving little guys around. They're just little guys, you know? So if I wanted to get like really cheeky, I could like loop this around and like drop someone off here. But then like I've just created like a box that one cannot escape from. Is it a question of something like... No, I mean, if I, like, tried to, like, drop off at the far end... Wait, though. If I drop off at the far end this way, could that possibly do something? Then the last one would be used. And then... No, you still end up with the same problem, right? Because the issue comes from having to double a track back before you actually pick up the next guy. That's the core of the problem. Maybe swing around to pick up number 4 at the end. I mean, I didn't take a close look at it the way I did it the first time, but I feel like I didn't have enough track space to sort of like return to pick him up after the first loop and then drop him off. I mean, particularly because the way I had done it initially was just a zigzag through the middle, which like takes up a lot of the possible space. But maybe. I'm kind of obsessed with the notion that there's like a trick to this, which maybe there isn't. Maybe it's something like this, though? No, you wouldn't be able to make multiple trips, though. There just wouldn't be space for that. drop off 1, pick up 2, drop off 2, pick up 3. This like this hard extremely doesn't work. Just wanted to add that Sam Witwer as Maul is my favorite thing in Star Wars. Full stop. Wait, I think I missed your earlier comment. Clone Wars overall is good. Final season is some of the best Star Wars stuff. I don't know. I mean, I know it's like well received, and I tried watching a little bit of it. The thing I found off-putting about it, for one, when I did try to keep up with it, I mean, I guess it's all like a related issue, is like the individual stories were interesting. I found it like tedious and off-putting to sort of like connect the dots between them, because like they sort of deliberately like jumped around. Like I don't think they jumped back and forth in time necessarily, but like I feel like at least maybe I truly was just like missing some airings of the show or something weird in a way that was like the scheduling was busted or unexpected. But like I feel like trying to like watch some of the new ones when they were coming out at a certain point, you know, like there would be a storyline and it would be like, you know, there'd be like an episodic story, right, that like ends, and then the next one would be like, and now Anakin's like in the middle of like a war zone and like it's already in progress, but like there was like stuff I needed to know that was like context that like wasn't around, and like if I really like focused on it or like watched them like back to back and like not like a week apart, like it might not be such a big deal. But like I don't know, I just like wasn't expecting to have to like think that hard about like the basic mechanics of where the episodes were starting. I kind of have to. That's a thought. I could maybe touch one in particular that doesn't get picked up. Go around the outside, and then would that? Can you go pick up? No, it still doesn't work, right? So hold on. Going by straightforward rules, we like pick up first, drop first. Pick up second, drop second. So we haven't used 2 and we haven't picked up 3. Then we like pick up 4, drop here. Wait, I don't know if you have to, but I think you could map this. There might be a way to do this. Hold on, it's gonna be quiet when I rig this up. So we've got like A, B, C, D, E, and then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we follow the main map in the middle, A goes to 1, then B goes to 3. So I'm gonna underline 2 and C. We don't pick up C, and we drop off B at 3. So drop off, pick up. Oh, cool. You can make them do goofy cartoon stuff. That's great. I love it. So we pick up B, and we have to loop around and drop them off at 3. And then we pick up C, and C goes to 4, and D doesn't get picked up. I might be overthinking this. This is entirely possible. So drop off, pick up, drop off, pick up 4, drop off at 5. So that's 4 isn't being used? Is that right? Why is it so hard to track? Drop off. Pick up. 2 is not used. Drop off at 3. C is not picked up. Don't drop off 4. Pick up D. Drop off at 5. E is not picked up. So E and 4 are the other ones that are off. If you just route a squiggle. D is fine. He just goes to 5. So if I pick up... This might work. If I was to pick up C and take C to point 2, I think that would leave room for me to pick up E and route him past 4 before the exit. And all I have to do is zigzag. I think that's correct. Let's see. No, I did that wrong. It's supposed to go to 1. But that's that's a minor adjustment. I can fix it. So I connect C to 1, and then all the rest of that is fine. But if I had done that right, that would have been moderately impressive, right? I wasn't expecting this to be that hard, like 10 challenges into the game, but, you know. I think the other one's 4. It's fine. We'll reroute it if we have to. No, let's not talk about Book of Boba. Does anyone like the Book of Boba Fett? Or was that just a universal thing? I feel like that appealed to... Oh no, wait. It's slightly off. I think that's still manageable. I just have to circle that around again. Okay. I have to loop it up before going to spot 4. Really wasn't expecting this level of difficulty this far in. Okay. And then we zigzag. And we drop off at 5. And we pick up E. E. And then we do 4. And then we leave. Okay? 3rd time's the charm. I actually want to say that this might be in the trailer. Like, this layout of the dudes looks familiar. I don't know. That was a hard gang. I might not be a smart enough dude to save the guys. Although, maybe, like, this is, like, the upper limit of, like, the basic mechanics. And then, like, we reset in the new systems or something is possible. I don't know. Psycho says, there are parts of Book of Boba Fett I really like. It's time with the Tusken Raiders, showdown with Cad Bane, but the rest was either nothing or bonus episodes of Mando. I mean, I think that's a fair general description. But also, like, I don't think he was cast correctly to be that. Like, I'm not trying to, like, be mean to the actor. I just don't feel like that guy was a good fit for what most people wanted to see from Boba Fett. I don't know. You beat the boss-sized dome. I suppose it really was, wasn't it? Which explains the difficulty to some extent. This feels like... To look at this doesn't seem like it should be that hard, but I'm distrustful of it. Too much member berry. This, I think, is a general problem with this, like, rebooting, like, old intellectual property thing, where, like, it's not just that people aren't coming up with, like, new ideas for movies and TV shows, which is, like, a thing. But also, like, they keep bringing in like I think there's like a feedback nepotism loop where like people get put in the writers room of these projects and they just like don't know them or like don't know how like they people get hired not because they're a good fit to write a Star Wars show, but because like they know someone. And so like then they're like, well, what does Star Wars mean to me? I don't know. Maybe like Luke shows up as like a CGI like overlay on like a different actor or something. Yeah, I was circling back around to like all modern Star Trek is really written this way for the most part. But like also kind of famously, I feel like recently it's been making rounds that like, you know, I don't know if anyone here watched She-Hulk, the like Disney Plus series. I think it was Disney Plus and not like Netflix or something. And like I liked Tatiana Maslany as Jessica Jones or whatever her like normal name is, She-Hulk. But like the plot was like some generic like superhero nonsense, and like a lot of people are like, it just with all the other stuff that the MCU already has, it seems like kind of a slam dunk to just like write it as like a somewhat comedic legal drama that like incorporates Marvel stuff. And like people were just like someone like revealed in some kind of press release that like, oh yeah, like we just none of the people on staff knew how to write a legal drama. And it's like, so like hire someone else. So like you did a bad job, so like hire a different person. Like what are you talking about? How is that? That's not an excuse. Daredevil show is the best Marvel show. I mean, there's complicated reasons for why that could be true that somewhat boil down to like it was kind of before all the other stuff and wasn't handled the same way. Is this actually like deceptively simple? Pick up a guy, drop off a guy. Pick up a guy, drop off that guy. Pick up... No, that wouldn't work. I can drop him off and pick him up, and then I have nowhere to take him. Yeah, I also haven't seen Daredevil Born Again. I'm pretty sure it's like... I think stuff that happened in that is like referenced in the new Spider-Man movie, and I was just sort of like, sure, fine, whatever. Like, pick up last guy, drop him off. Pick up this guy. This middle lane is weird. Doesn't seem useful. Pick up this guy. I don't know how you feel about this, or if you're even paying attention or care. I think this game's really good. I like this game a lot. It's a really, like, I don't know. Like, I think I talked about this a little bit during the Golden Idol games, where, like, I don't know. I like a puzzle game where, like, if you're really, like, focused on what you're doing, like, you know before you put in a solution whether you're right or not. Like, it's fun to play other types of puzzle games sometimes, too. But, like, I can, like, look at this and be like, I know that's not right, so I should think of something else, without having to, like, constantly try things. But also sometimes I'm not locked in and I'm just not paying attention. Let's pick this guy up. Pick him up. Drop him off here. Pick him up. Drop him off here. Pick him up. Drop him off here. Go to the exit. I think that works. Let's find out. This is a surprisingly tricky game, man. Look at all those eggplant condos. It's everything you ever wanted. I did it. I found the Vela system. Much better than the Velma system. Another one that doesn't look that hard to start with. I guess he's gonna try and stick around longer, but very tired. If I fall asleep, Squirtle behind Ursa Ring because the ring is the moon and the moon is in space where all the trains live. It's a good guess. I like it. So I can pick him up and drop him off easily. Wait, no, this is actually really easy, isn't it? You just like pick up orange and drop off orange, and then pick up purple and drop off purple, and then... No, it's actually really hard. Because then where would I go? Maybe it's... I think you could do it the other way. There's all this extra space down here. I feel like you should be doing that last. Unless it's like... Drop him off and pick him up at the same time? That still doesn't work. Because you'd be in a dead end. Drop off orange, pick up purple. Now you have to hit the train station, and then you'd have to be able to loop, which you can't do because there's only one space between them. These aliens are stood next to their houses. Why don't they just enter their houses? Well, I mean, it's a good observation, but I think it's like a cultural difference where it's like a locomotive level of bureaucracy. So like it's illegal in the blue space domes for an alien to walk in their front door. They must be delivered by a train. It's so peculiar that the orange guy... Why is there one orange and why is he already next to his? I feel like it's extremely intentional. This whole layout is very suspicious. It feels like a trap because everything I've considered doesn't work. I can drop him off and it just doesn't do anything. Drop him off, pick up orange. Now, you still only have the one inlet or outlet there. No need. In fact, there's something about this I'm not utilizing correctly. Oh, hang on. I see a rant in chat, followed by I had to get that out of my system. Zacula says, work be like, change your password every 30 days. It also has to be 500... Wait, is that a typo? 500 characters minimum? Or is that just hyperbole? Because, like, that's too many characters. That's a lot of characters. Change every 30 days. Has to be 500 characters minimum. Include 12 special characters, 1 ancient Egyptian hieroglyph. If you even try to repeat the password you've used this century, a hit squad will be dispatched to your location. I mean, ours aren't quite that bad, but I definitely know the feeling. I actually don't care if my work accounts get hacked. I will literally post my username and password on the dark web if you make me do this. That is also a sentiment that I feel in my bones. Drop him off immediately. There's not enough room to do anything useful. What if I mean, there wouldn't be any benefit to, like, delaying dropping off orange. It must have something to do with going between purple first? But you end up having to like round so many edges of the destinations to make it work. There's no benefit to that. Why is he orange, do you think? Yeah, you wouldn't be able to... You just explode. It would just simply explode. Again, there's no benefit if I can't get an inlet and an outlet here. Come up, drop him off. Pull him out, rawhide. Is there a world where... It seems really hard to imagine this. Say I picked... Middle guy up. How would that ever be useful? This is definitely the hardest one. Which shouldn't be surprising because we're near the end of the first section and they're numbered in a way that makes me think they have an intentional difficulty curve, but I don't know this. Who said, I also read somewhere that making people frequently change their password has the opposite effect on security because it leads to bad habits. This is my instinct. It leads to bad habits, like writing your password on sticky notes, etc. Like, even if it's not that dramatically far, like, I do feel like I need to take extra measures to be able to, like, remember a password when it changes so frequently and, like, has all these requirements, so it can't be something that I'll remember easily. And, like, my measures are definitely not that bad, but like they're, you know, InfoSec probably wouldn't be thrilled with them, I'll tell you that. Ocean said, finished a game called Restory last night about manning an electronics repair shop in Tokyo in 2007 before touchscreens. It was way stereotypical, the ending was super abrupt. I mean, abrupt ending is a regrettably common type of ending. God, gnats. I hate the gnats. You'd have to play the game 3 times to get 100%. Nah, I'm good. This would be super easy if you, like, inverted the locations of, like, one purple guy and one house next to him, I think. I think that would make this, like, unbelievably easy. See. It's just really hard to... Well, but then there's no way to the exit. Turn them off. I mean, there's no downside to doing this, but it just creates a thing I can't solve. Because if I ever cross all the way through the map, then I can never exit. If that weren't true, I'd be fine. So I must need something that doesn't require that. So I pick him up, and I drop him off here, and simultaneously pick up orange. No, there's still no outlet. There's just not enough space. There's simply not enough space. I think that if you go from orange to bottom purple, going through the center, then you drop off purple 2, on the same tile you pick off purple 1. I don't believe there's a space where that's true. Because of, like, if, like I was suggesting before, if you, like, inverted, like, house and guy, then it would be the case where, like, you would, like, be connective tissue between, like, a drop-off and a pickup, and that allows you to, like, pick them up on the same spot that you're dropping someone off. But in this location, any side that I, like, touch a purple drop-off point, I'm not also picking someone up. Unless I'm misunderstanding your suggestion. Like I said, me back when I still streamed, and after I finished, or thought I'd finished, Nier Automata, and chat was like, actually, you have to play it again. And I was like, nah, I'm good. And they got so mad at me, I got peer pressured into it. I ended up getting the main endings and the one where you blow up an orbital base. That's rough, buddy. So let me just, I just want to, I'm calling middle purple, purple 1. And bottom purple 2. So I'm thinking you go from orange house down to purple 2. But in what world can I, okay, I'll try to walk it through and not just dismiss this. But I feel like you're missing something important and I might be wrong. I'm thinking go from orange house down to purple 2. And then left and up between the purples. And back around at the bottom. I don't understand how that can work. So if I go down... So, okay. Step 1. If I pick up orange and I go through here, I automatically pick up the one that you're calling purple 1. I can't avoid doing that. Is that clear? Just by, like, passing the orange drop-off spot, I go to the same spot that purple 1 is at and pick him up. Like, by default. That's not a choice. To demonstrate. Pick up. I didn't put enough track to demonstrate. But we pick him up, we drop him off, we simultaneously pick up. So I can't, like, avoid doing that while doing the orange path. So maybe that means I'm supposed to do orange last, but I haven't figured out, like, a easy way to do that. They all seem pretty tough. Is there... No, if I... It's diabolical, because, like, if I could do this without... No, wait, does that work? I pick him up from here and drop him off God knows where. And then we... No, because... I mean, it works if we drop him at the bottom one. I don't know if that works. I'm just going to do this and see what the game says. I don't think this works. Yeah, it puts him in the top one. And there's no way to ever do that again. So we just pass orange and then boop the wall. By the way, I'm apparently like a little spooky shadow guy in the control pod of the train. Just get him to purple house 2. There's no way you can finish on the center house. That's the thing, is like everything I've been looking at, like the center just seems like this trap. It's really hard to avoid it. There's clearly a way to do it. I'm not spotting it. I might hop to another level so I don't just like stay here indefinitely. But like, I'm sure this is solvable. It's just, it's not coming to mind. To be fair, this is One of the rare times when Twitch chat was both correct and not trying to torment me. I mean, it kind of it depends a little, right? Like, were you satisfied with the initial ending you got with the game? In fairness to me, that was hypothetically pretty close. Yeah, but I wouldn't be able to, like, loop back here. I wouldn't be able to loop back if I tried to get cheeky and, like, drop this off. I would then need to be able to, like, pick this guy up in a way that I can't drop him off or finish the level. See, when I'm playing Baba, but I hop to another level so many times I run out of levels. Yep, that's my experience playing Baba. I haven't gotten very far in it. I played a little bit off stream, but like after like having a couple like super embarrassing showings in a row, I'm like, this probably isn't really a stream game, is it? Like, it'd be nice to be smart enough to like flex and just like beat Baba on stream, but like, nah. I don't think I'm smart or patient enough for that at this point in my life where like every day is a struggle and 2026 is misery. But like, yeah, my experience was sort of like, this sucks, let me try this. This sucks, let me try this. This sucks, let me try this. Through orange, 7 tiles across, down to 1, off the bottom. Left below the purple house. I don't think I need to zigzag this, right? Okay, I feel like if I'm understanding your description, that doesn't work because you would never be able to leave. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. So, if I was to do this, I pick up orange, drop off orange, pick up middle purple. Then I go down to 1 tile from the bottom. Right next to the purple guy. Wait. 1 off the bottom, left to below the purple house. Oh. No, you're totally right. That works. That routes you to the house before having to pick him up. That'll do it. You got it. It is hard to explain, but you got it. The frame of the question doesn't make sense for Nier Automata. When you finish your first playthrough and the credits roll, it's a lie and you restart the game and actually continue the story, but from a different perspective. I mean, I have some awareness that that's how that game works. I haven't played it, but like, I don't know. I mean, like, that type of ending is like, yeah, like, that was pretty hard. I mean, that was good work, Neko. Let's try and finish purple. I don't know. But like, I don't know. Doing endings like that, I think, is really tricky because like sometimes a false ending just makes me like not want to play the game anyway, right? Like, this looks like a hot mess. This looks like a hot dog mess. Maybe that means it's secretly very easy. Narrator, it is not. Alright, I've neutralized a pair of purple. I've neutralized a pair of orange. I have neutralized a different purple. Ooh, I don't like the look of this orange. That's tough. Can I not? Maybe I don't. Maybe I go around them somehow. No, that doesn't seem very possible. How would I ever leave? This layout is causing me anxiety. Same. How long until we unlock tiny bridges and tunnels? It's a good question. I don't know anything about the progression of this game. And like, if people really want, we can like move on to a new area and see if... I assume there's new mechanics. We're just like relatively close and it'd be kind of nice to check it off. But like, you know, it's a stream. It's for the people. Or a Dominium and all that. I mean, if I did this, then there's simply no way. This all makes sense. But I don't think this is finishable. Because, like, I feel like I'm basically already locking out this box. If I try to do this... I don't know, maybe... So, like, I pick up this guy and I pick up this orange and drop him off here. And then I'm pretty much forced to pick up this guy. And then... drop him off here, and then how would I mean, if I don't drop him off there, I can never get back there, right? I think that's literally true. Like, I could try to, like, mess around with the purples, but that also doesn't seem like it works. I kind of feel like maybe I'm supposed to... Hello? R? Did I crash it? I feel like I'm supposed to do something cheeky out here first. Like, drop this guy off. Do that. Do that. I mean, that doesn't really free up anything different, really. No, it's more or less the same problem. Yeah, that's not solvable, but it's really close. What if, though... If I dropped off... No, I would already have picked up this guy. So that would not be helpful. If I could pick up this... If I could pick up this guy first and then drop him off here, and then, like, move to pick up this guy and drop him off here, I feel like that would be helpful. What if I did something ludicrous like this? So I take out the top corner and then the middle. And then drop the orange guy here. How would I ever make use of this purple space? It seems hard to conceive of. I will say I was really pissed because I found the second playthrough to be really boring and tedious, and then the third playthrough is one of my favorite things ever. Now that's interesting. That's not something I feel like you hear about every day. Since I don't have like a clear plan, I'm kind of just like drawing some paths that seem really stupid to see if I get any insight by doing this. So I drop him off. Pick him. I so want to like deal with this box. This box sucks. It's like really hard to like avoid dealing with him first. I guess I could do like this, right? If I do it, that's not quite right, is it? Because I gotta do that. But if I, so pick him up, drop him off, pick him up, drop him off here, and then like immediately pick up this guy and take him to the bad box, and then pick up this guy, drop him here, pick up this guy, drop him here. What about you, though? What about the orange spider up here? I don't... Huh. Is there some cheeky thing where, like, I pick this guy up, and then I pick him up? No, that seems worse. If I, like, pick him up and loop him back around, I'd either cut off this orange guy forever, or immediately have to deal with him in a way that would, like, definitely block this from being used. Pick up orange, drop off orange, pick up orange, drop off orange. But it's physically impossible to get him to here, isn't it? Isn't that true? What is your favorite game chat that has multiple branching endings? And why is it World's End Club with the excellent ending where a helicopter gets destroyed because the writing staff like couldn't think of any other way to end the branch that they created? I'm not sure I'm sure I have an answer to this. I don't have an answer that comes readily to mind. Like story-wise, I mean, yeah. I mean, is there another way? I meant story-wise. This looks like a good start, but I don't know that it actually is solvable. You could try to do... I mean, maybe this is just taking up too much space. Is it beneficial, perhaps, to instead... Ooh, actually, if I... So, pick up purple, drop off purple, pick up orange, drop off orange. Move over here to pick up orange, drop him off up here. Then, pick up orange to drop him off here. Then pick up this orange and drop him off here. Which means at this point I have only to deal with purples. And I don't think that's actually difficult at all. I maybe didn't think hard enough about that. But it might be brilliant. Yes! I did it! I found it! Oh shoot, there's one more, huh? I don't know how I forgot about that. While we're working on this last one, chat, I want you to choose whether you would like to see Vela, Ursa Minor, or Delphinus once we do this one. Story-wise, I'd say Long Live the Queen. Not familiar. Neko says, World End Club is impressive for somehow just barely being worse than Raincode. Wow, wait, hold on. This is news to me. You dislike World's End Club more than Raincode? You're like the world's biggest Raincode hater. And it's an extremely hateable game. Crap. This looks very similar to the last one, but probably is harder in a way that I can't immediately articulate. Did we say favorite or least favorite? I mean, I asked favorite, but I'm not... I mean, I also facetiously said, why is it World's End Club? Because it's a branching story game that has, like, mostly garbage endings, but it does have the one really good ending where everyone dies in a helicopter crash with, like, a meteor storm or whatever. World's End Club was so bad I left Twitch for, like, 2 years. I know, Zacula, and yet it had to be done. It wasn't my choice. That isn't actually why, but it's funny to say. You should definitely tell people that. If people ask you that, you should definitely tell them that. I wonder if this is meant to be an extension of the last one. In which case, pick up orange, drop off orange, pick up orange, drop off orange, pick up orange, drop off orange. This immediately becomes tricky if that's true. What if it was like pick up orange, drop off? No, this is super much worse. Pick him up, drop him off, pick him up, just consign yourself to being trapped forever. Drop off. Drop off. Oh, the purple's being placed at the edges with all the things being in the middle is tricky. Let's make the assumption that this isn't meant to be like a direct extension of the last one. So let's just like pick him up, drop him off, and then like pick up Swiss roll over here, drop him off, and then probably like pick up, drop off. So like purple to purple, purple to purple. Now we got orange going to here. This would be a problem though. I think that would be a problem. Although even today it's a bit of a stretch to say I'm back on Twitch. I literally open it only for the Vasco to Gamer video game computer show. Well, I consider that a compliment of the highest order. And also I'm very grateful to have you here. And I'm sorry about the mosquitoes. And the, you know, being outside is also bad. I know we've talked much about like rain and weather and stuff lately. This feels like a good start, but it may or may not be correct. Is there any reason why? Going south would be preferable? Is this a perfect mirror? Is there evenly spaced? That's 1, 2, that's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I think it is, so it shouldn't matter what direction you go. Almost got the net. Actually, it occurs to me in this moment, which like orange guy do you pick up? Nani? Wait, can I play it again, Sam? I didn't know you could do that. Okay, well that's interesting. That's good to know. It's a little bit of a problem. Not that I had otherwise solved this path, but like, yikes. Hello, Funny Godmother. Welcome to the stream. We're doing some hashtag train gaming. I'm playing Cosmic Express, which rules. This game is very good. Also, check this out. I just learned something about this game that's funny to watch. You go around trying to, like, pick up and drop off these aliens at, like, specifically, like, coordinated stations to their alien species, but if you position yourself to pick up two at the same time, they do a Three Stooges routine and bump into each other. No, thank you for the affiliate birthday. Thank you. Okay. So, we probably do have to start over in light of this revelation. That's gonna make things tough. That's gonna make
Did
things
someone
tough.
say
That's
birthday?
surprisingly gonna make things tough. Hi Jakey, welcome to the stream. We're playing Cosmic Express. We're delivering aliens to train stations that are also kind of their homes or businesses or something. I'm a little unclear. To answer the earlier question about favorite branching story games, Papers, Please, Stanley Parable, Spec Ops: The Line. I don't know much about Spec Ops: The Line. Also, I've played very little of Stanley Parable. Is that something people would want to see me play on stream? Like I've seen like a little bit of it played. I feel like it's like a billion branches. Good deployment of hat. Thank you. This is of course a gift from yourself, but I've been intending to play some train games, and it felt like the vibe. Didn't like. I had like a weird grudge against Stanley Parable when it first came out, because like it's like a narrative, but like it didn't feel like a game, and like something about people going crazy about it as like a video game was like making me irrationally annoyed. I feel like it says a lot for Zago to say I feel like it's overdone, but I wouldn't hate it on stream. Demo, main game, and deluxe are all different things. Yeah, if people want to see it, you all can tell me whatever amount about that I'm supposed to know to make some kind of download decision. That sounds like a sentence that's designed to make me very wary. Okay. So drop him off. Drop him off. What if I like... No, there's not enough space. I want to be able to like complete the middle loop and then do the purples on the outside. There's not even remotely enough space for that. I think you'd like the game. Thank goodness you're here. I think I like the Game Grumps played it a while back, and it's like the reason I know what that is. I think they played like half of it on stream. That's a wild ride. It does seem like something that's pretty enjoyable for the most part. It felt like it had a couple like weird bits in it, but again, puzzle games do be like that sometimes. Thank goodness your ear is very good, but very blue humor. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I saw too much that seemed distressing in that regard. We did also play Five Hearts Under One Roof. Not that that's... I mean, it has a little blue humor. I don't know. It's also just, I feel like, in the same ballpark of, like, Streamer Beware. Zoop-a-doop. Clear it. Maybe this is something. Maybe this is something. Like, I drop off one using this corner that's not good for anything else. And then drop off the second one. Drop off the third one. But then how do I deal with the purple situation? I guess I don't have to go all the way to the corner for this to work, right? Hold on, I'm cooking or I'm not sure. Do I need to go around the outside? If I don't, I can't loop back in. Need to play multiplayer games tomorrow. Do you have specific ones on the docket? Very rude of AI to piss off our mom. I mean, that's definitely true. I had a thought about this that like felt really profound, but isn't at all. Where like I somehow like had the idea that like people using AI for like trivial mundane things that like waste resources in its like contemporary form feels very much akin to the thing I talk about in Code Lyoko, where like the villain in Code Lyoko is an evil sentient computer virus who's bent on like, I don't know, I guess world domination. It's left kind of vague a lot of the time. Um but like there's a function in the show that sort of like allows it to have like moderately high stakes, where like they can reverse time for just one day, but doing so like makes the villain stronger because it has to like use like processes that are part of the same supercomputer that he's in. So they have to be careful about using the return to the past, or else they like risk making the villain stronger, and it like becomes a plot point at a certain point. And I feel like basically in our reality, like Skynet exists in the future and it becomes stronger every time someone like uses technology that's basically spell check but worse. This is the potential games: Long Walk, Repo Peak, and a cute dino battler I found at GCX. Wait, what's the dinosaur game called? That sounds fun. Citizen Sleeper is probably my favorite just because of how both sweet and bittersweet many of the endings are. I mean, I only played Citizen Sleeper 1 and I only played one story of it. I did like the game. It didn't strike the gameplay didn't strike me as something that like I was excited to replay through to get the other endings. It's not that I didn't think the other endings would be good, it's just that the gameplay itself like wasn't like the draw. It almost felt like an obstacle to like enjoying more of the story. Personal opinion. This is close to something. It's not something, but it's close to something. Pick up, drop off. Pick up, drop off. If I could, there's no way to do it, right? Like if I simply picked up and dropped off. I don't know, maybe. Does that work? Drop off, pick up. Drop off, pick up, drop off. Pick up, drop off. Pick up, drop off. Now, this is what I ran into before, right? I had some similar path to this. And then if I like cross this line, then it becomes impossible to deliver all the purple guys to their destinations and also leave the level. It's called Dynamite. That sounds good. Intro, go all the way out and come back to your current path. the intro. Go all the way out. And then come back. I don't think I'm understanding the suggestion. Not that it's wrong. I don't know that I'm correctly understanding. But thinking about what was said. Then I pick up orange. So I can't just swing out. I would also pick up orange. Oh, but I guess you could do it from this side. Clear up the side and go back in. Pick up him, drop him off. Pick up, drop off. Pick up, drop off here. So pick up, drop off. Pick up, drop off. Pick up, drop off. Pick up simultaneously, drop off. Still gets tricky around here. That sounds all fine and good, but what does Diplo think? You would have to drop off there because you would never be able to access the top orange box again. But there's not enough space to simply pick up the last orange and loop back. But I also don't think you could, like, reasonably expect to do the purple stuff and then do orange and go to the end, because that's not how train tracks work. Hold on. Sakula says Salem is currently getting very into date everything and is in love with the save. I'd consider date everything. I feel like there was some level of enthusiasm for it in chat, and then like when I felt like I had a better understanding of what the game was, it didn't seem very appealing. Where like it seems like it's just like a shotgun blast of like short dating stories where like there's just like a trillion endings and they're all about romancing different objects, and like I don't know if the stories overlap or anything. It just sounds like it's quantity over quality, and that might be, you know, an unfair assessment. How would I ever? There's a weird thought. Ooh, there is a weird thought. But that's super problematic. Or is it? If I do this, does it free up space to like round this final track in a way that's useful? So I still pick up purple, drop off purple, pick up orange, drop off orange. Feels like there's not enough space for this. Like I could pick up orange, but then if I drop him off, then I've like rounded like all four sides of this purple box. And it's toast. Maybe I can just back the train up to here. Alright, let's get cheeky. Put purple, drop him off. Pick up orange. Drop him off. And pick up second orange. Drop him off this way. Pick up purple. Drop him off here. Pick up orange. This is close. This is close or it's nothing. Pick up orange, drop off orange. Oh, this is close. So this handles orange, 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 purple, purple. Then I would just need to deliver both purples. But this positioning is really bad for that purpose. Because, like, I can either, like, try to go wide and get him, but then there's, like, truly no way to cross the threshold back to the exit. Wait, I can build both sides? That's weird. That feels weird. Or I can, like, swing out, but then I'm, like, blocking this. So there's still some element to this I haven't accounted for. Should I come back to this one? I've been on it for a minute. I'd like to finish purple, but I have not been smart enough. Ooh. Apparently I can also zoom in. Scooter time approaches. It is roughly the time of the scooter. Kind of have to do this. Pick up, drop, pick up, drop. Is it? No, that doesn't work. How about this? Pick up purple, drop off purple. Pick up purple, drop off purple. Pick up far orange. Drop him off. Pick up near orange, drop him off. Pick this guy up. I don't think that works. I think that runs into the same problem. Pick up, drop off. Goop. If you take that route, you're kind of stuck. But you're kind of stuck regardless. I guess if you can build backwards, like what you're looking for here is something that, like, you know, does this in the end. Or something roughly approximating this. Zaka says, would it be insane to say my least favorite branching story game is Life is Strange? No. No, it wouldn't be insane. That game sucks. I hate Life is Strange. It doesn't help that, like, a bunch of people who I, like, was friends with and trusted at that point in my life were like, Vasco, this is, like, the pinnacle of everything you would like. The writing in this game is incredible and so, like, true to life. And then if you've played Life is Strange, I'd like to understand that I don't have to say more. I don't know that that's necessarily true. So I handle all the purples, and then I get this orange that I, like, kind of have to deal with. The most space efficient way would be like this. There's like no way from that position to avoid picking up the last orange. The same thing for the purple on the other side. Yeah, the last orange is tricky because like doing it is really easy to cut off the second to last purple or like one of the last purples. There's no benefit to looping around this way. It feels like there should be. If you take this path, you drop off. Like, that's just circuitous. That, like, literally accomplishes nothing. You're still forced to pick up orange. Yeah, that's exactly how I felt, Zacula. Everyone was, like, praising Life is Strange, and then you played it, and you're like, what are you talking about? Yeah, no, I feel very strongly about Life is Strange, and the strong feelings are not positive. And anytime I hear someone say good things about it, it makes me mad. Yeah, I don't know how to reconcile this. It's just like one too many stops for me to figure out. Alright, I'm gonna put that on the back burner because I don't want to spend infinite time on it. I'd like to solve it, but I don't think I'm currently making progress. Did the chat settle on where they wanted to go? I think I saw one each vote for Ursa Minor and Delphinius. How goes the alien training? Like, I've almost completed purple, but I reached this point where, like, the very last purple one, I, like, can't work out right now. So I was going to take a break from it. Alright, that's 2 votes for Ursa. I'll take it. Let's go to Ursa Minor. It's the first one we unlocked. Okay, we should be due for a difficulty decline, which is good. If you notice, we do now have 2 train cars, which means I can pick up 2 aliens at once, I presume. But if I go straight down the middle, as we've learned, we do like a cartoon pratfall. Also, now we're putting like random obstacles in the way, which weren't there before, so that's curious. I think the idea is that I'm just able to hold both and have to find a route that doesn't cause them to crash into each other. Imminently solvable. Also basically a tutorial for a new area. So, let's remember we can now hold 2 at a time. I'm not sure if that's correct, because I haven't really internalized how the second car picks up guys, but I presume we pass the orange ones, pick them both up, drop them off in sequence, and then, like, this goes in the first car, this goes in the second car, first car empties, second car empties, leave? It's true, they don't have to be 2 of the same kind, which is probably worth checking and noting, but I kind of took that for granted. I feel like the difficulty curve of this game is good. I'm kind of stubborn and want to be able to, like, finish the area, but, like, 14 was really hard, and then you go to 1, it's like, a refreshing after-dinner mint. Okay. Definitely a step up in difficulty. It's a bit odd to me that they're putting these in the corners in this way. I mean, it's almost definitely going to be the case somewhere in Ursa Minor that we have to like manage the tricky logistics of like I have both cars full, but like I'm dropping off the guy in 2 instead of the guy in 1 because of the way you're routing or something like that, and then take it into account in some meaningful way, which sounds really hard. So like, oh, jeez. I mean, just passing by the orange is gonna like immediately make something of it. It sounds really difficult. So I can pick up both orange and drop them off, and then just pick up both purple? Actually, maybe that's not so hard. Does that just work as that is? If you just like commit to doing one color because the drop-off points are next to each other? And it's like really hard to like do one color and then the other? Okay. Laziness and inertia have prevailed this day. Parentheses positive. Let's go to 4. Okay, this one's perpendicular for some reason. So this might be the spot in the game where they specifically intend for me to learn what happens if you just go straight ahead, one direction. Which, and I'm going to play this for those of you who haven't already seen it, because it's very good and funny. But like, ostensibly, if you haven't learned the lesson that I accidentally already did, then this looks super easy. I like drive my train up here and then like pick up these 2 guys and drop them off, and pick up these 2 guys and drop them off, and then pick up these 2 guys and drop them off. But I'm pretty sure the actual way this functions, even with the 2 train cars, which may be a little different, is that they'll bump into each other and nothing will happen, and then my train will get stopped at the end. Doink. 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 Like, this is a really nicely laid out teaching level. This is very good. So, like, if you simply do this, then you pick up both purple guys, and then you should be able to drop them off. Now, the trick is, how do you actually pick up the orange guys without causing a problem? Because if you... like, you're sort of forced to go through them, and obviously don't pick them up when you do that. I guess you just don't have them both at the same time? You, like, go past them, and they doink, and then you pick up this guy and, like, drop him off, and then pick up this guy and drop him off. And then you, like, pick up him, and then him, and even though you're driving through the middle, it's fine. And then you do that, I think? Okay. So they doink, and then you pick them up and drop them off, and pick them up and drop them off, and pick them up and pick them up and drop them off and drop them off. Doink counter at 1. I wonder how big the universe is. This looks deceptively simple. I have no obvious sense of what the trick is. I assume I probably want 2 in my car at some point, partially because it's like the gimmick, but also just because the drop-offs are really close together. So, like, if I was to try and, like, take this space-efficient back route, I would have purple and then orange, and I just sort of leave this guy. But then if I, like, did anything about it, he'd be, like, trapped forever. I don't think there's a way around that. So that's probably not what I'm doing. It's probably more like pick up, drop off purple, drop off orange. But then I guess you could go around. No, that doesn't work because, like, you need this to somehow connect to here without this crossing the path. So maybe you only pick up purple and drop off purple, and then pick up orange. How do you drop off orange without having an issue? Well, I guess with the two cars it's not a problem, right? You just pick up orange, pick up purple, go past purple such that you drop them off, and yeah. I think the trick is just that you do one guy first. Does that work? Orange, purple, D purple, D orange, leave. Okay. Okay. First thought is that it feels like the trick is once again how to isolate one color group at a time, just because it seems difficult to make multiple trips to each of these double color drop-offs. Although maybe, is that a trick though? Because you could, like, pick up orange, pick up purple, drop off purple, drop off orange, and then... No, you wouldn't be able to loop around, right? On some level, I think that's the trick, though. Maybe we just haven't figured out the best way to do it. I think it looks like it's presenting like the earlier one where I wanted to group them, but I think that's deliberately misleading. I think I want to do alternating pairs twice. How do you not cut the fact that these three are in a row is surprisingly challenging. Just like, sure, I could go like this way, but then, like, in order to do any kind of drop off, well, I don't know. So say I pick up the first two, right? And then I drop them off. And then I, like, pick up... No, that's a dead end. And if I take the long way, there'd never be a way to drop off orange. It says, playing Final Fantasy VII Remaster, got an accessory that's very raffle-coded. It's a cog bangle, and its description is a bangle inspired by the ever-turning cogs of fate. Yeah, that sounds Zenith-esque. Does it Does it mention quartz? Quartz that makes your eyes glow and instantly kills you if it gets broken? I sure wish this was like a row longer. The thing that makes me feel clever doesn't solve it. No, but materia is kind of like quartz. It is kind of like quartz, isn't it? How do you get all three of them? How would you do it? You gotta be able to. I don't think you could do it in 3 trips. I don't think there's enough space for that. Yeah, you just can't, like, loop back through there. No matter how many 3 times I try. It just doesn't work. Although, this doesn't seem helpful, but it is worth noting that were I to take a path straight through here, the purples would doink and I wouldn't pick them up. I don't know that I can do anything with that, but it's a way that I could get 2 oranges at the same time. It doesn't seem useful, because sure, I could then drop off the 2 oranges, but then, like, it's completely impossible to, like, do anything else. So it's an interesting idea, but I don't think it is part of the solution. Purple, pick up, or pick up orange, pick up purple, drop off purple, drop off orange. You can never go back. They say it, but I finally understand what they mean. Check out another one. Make a little bit more progress. Guess I'll go up to 7. Uh-oh, 7 has 2 exits. Do you think that'll mean that it's easier or harder? So I could use the doink trick to, like, pick up the oranges right away, but that seems bad. What if we instead pick up purple and an orange and, like, drop off purple, drop off orange, pick up orange. How do you think that would work, Vasco? Where's the purple going? Where's the second purple going?
My wetware's dried up.
Does that mean that it has stopped raining during scooter times, Aguila? It has. That's good news. Unless you wanted to get wet down there, where you live. So I gotta get all 4 of them in.
I don't need a map to get to Bonetown.
I guess it's simple enough. Does this simply work? Pick up 2 purples, drop off 2 purples. Pick up 2 orange, drop them off. So that gets me one way. The other path seems like it would probably be harder. Oh, this is what I was afraid of. Is that the path I've taken here, like, I technically have pathed the train so that the path of the train would be able to drop off everyone at their desired station. But the positioning of this second orange guy, he wouldn't get dropped off unless I could already go through here. That's rough. So pick up both orange. That seems bad. I don't think you can split them up. Because then, like, how are you ever getting back? Like, I think you do have to do these in pairs. I'm not totally sure how you do it. So this much is potentially clear. And then so you go far, you kind of just need the bushes make it impossible to just sort of wrap that around excessively. Makes you be kind of efficient, which makes that unsolvable? Probably not. Sorry about that technical difficulty I now have to edit around. Looks like I'm out of hard drive space again. Occupational hazard of non-occupation. If I only had to, like, solve one color pair, I could, like, easily, like, select one with doink. It feels as though there's no feasible way to drop off, like, a purple and an orange and then get the other purple and orange. I can't even immediately think of, like, how I would aspire to do this exit. I mean, I guess I would have to do... No, that doesn't make any sense. In order to, like, drop off purple... I mean, I haven't even solved the first one, but the other one definitely seems harder. I mean, I can drop them off, but I can't drop off purple if I do that. I made a stupid decision to take the stairs instead of climbing the elevator. Now the game is making me climb 59 floors. That's perhaps too many floors, Cotillion. Also, isn't that like a Final Fantasy VIII thing? The stairs? Is there something similar in 7? It's been a long time. I thought there was something in 7 where, like, your characters get, like, taken prisoner and, like, someone comes and like does a jailbreak and they split up and like you can take the elevator, you can take the stairs. If you take the stairs, you take the stairs manually. I mean, I can do a funny thing where everyone just doinks and I run into a wall and nothing's accomplished. Oh no, that's true. Since they doink, that doesn't work. Did I learn anything from that? Pick them up. It seems impossible to double back. I just really maintain the implausibility of that. What if I was to take like a really efficient route to picking up to? Would that somehow provide an opportunity from Zeus to save? I don't even know what like exit route this aspires to. Probably north? So doing this drops off both characters, but there would never be any way to get back to purple to drop off the second purple. Yeah, I don't think it's possible to double back ever in this level. Like, this is me IRL when I decide to take the stairs, but it's only 6 floors and still torture. I kind of miss being able to take stairs in buildings. I used to have a much easier time getting, like, incidental exercise in when I, like, worked in buildings that had stairs that I could, like, take at the start and end of the day. Obviously, that in and of itself isn't really, like, an exercise routine. But, like, I feel like now I have to try fully to get like even moderate exercise in, and it's tedious. You could argue that's on me for buying a house that doesn't have stairs in it, but you tried doing that. I had enough trouble with this one. See, whatever recent stream I was complaining about my like loan agent. What if I don't want to drop off the orange and I just want to take him to the far side for fun? Isn't that nice? Don't we all enjoy that? What if the real stairs are the one piece we made along the way? That's an interesting and profound question, I think. We should all reflect on that. Let me check out 8. This time for sure. Man, where do the purples even go? This feels like a... No, it can't be a doink, can it? Made it to the top finally. Quick, someone calculate the delta in time between Cotillion's comments. Now, you kind of got to take one at a time, right? But these are in the back corner. Extremely rude. So they doink, and then I pick up 1 orange, 2 orange, and I drop off 1 orange, pick up purple, drop off 2nd orange, have a purple, pick up an orange, drop off the purple, and then just like wrap this around. No, that doesn't work. Wait, how does that not work? How would you ever accomplish this level if that couldn't happen? Accidentally left my master key in my pocket. Super not supposed to take that out of the building. Does it have a tracking device on it? Are you, oh, is it like the master for the whole building? Why do you have that? I feel like more than that's not supposed to leave the building. I'm not sure why you have that. This feels like a good start, but the ending doesn't possibly make any sense. It's just like 15 different spaces to create a dead end. Is it some weird thing where, like, I just, like, carry a purple around for a really long time and then drop him off and do the same thing a second time? That still doesn't really make sense to me, because, like, how do you... So I pick up this purple. And then I pick up this orange. I can't hold a third guy, so I can't pick up both orange. I wonder if there are, like, bridges where that lets you, like, double back under a specific circumstance. Oh, this is... for some reason, I thought you were saying the master key was to, like, your apartment building. It makes a little more sense that you might end up with the work version, but, like, I can see why that shouldn't maybe happen, like, at all. I mean, if I go straight, I can pick up two... Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe I simply doink and then pick up two orange, and after I drop off one, I pick up a purple. So by the time I reach here, I have none guys, and then I loop around and pick up both orange and drop one off before I pick up purple. Wait, is this one actually much easier than the last two, or am I stupid? Strategic doink unlocked? Perhaps? I don't know if I'm, like, severely doink coded or if that's actually easier than the other ones, but that felt easier than the last two I've been, like, staring at. I appear to have unlocked Taurus. My wife's legal name has been changed to Taurus. I'm sure no one's going to notice, because unfortunately for me, you're probably the entirety of my viewer base in Washington, D.C., so I don't think any of your coworkers saw this. But it'd be super weird if, like, given the number of chatters who routinely show up to the Vasco the Gamer video game computer show, if, like, one of them was also here and they were like, gasp, scandal, how dare. I'm gonna hop to 9. What's the fountain doing? Just looks kind of neat, probably. What's the trick? What's the trick, you think? I feel like it's pick up one of each, go around the outside? No, surely not. It does kind of feel as though the end game is like go through the middle and like have both of these folks, but like that actually doesn't look remotely possible. Hey Zacula, have you ever wanted to be in a heist movie? Not related to any line of questioning currently happening. Just vaguely curious for unrelated reasons. So I can get like both of these guys, but the fountains mean I can't really easily access the middle. But I suppose you can do that, and then how do you drop off the other guy? Yeah, you kind of have to go through the middle once, and when you do that, you kind of have to have one of each, right? That's the trick? Hot take, Barrett sucks. I can't say that I remember Barrett scaling well into Final Fantasy VII. But I can't recall if the reason for that is because, like, I ended up really wanting to use other characters instead. You never played the original Final Fantasy VII? Yeah, I didn't realize that. I remember you being really excited about the Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering crossover set, and I assume that meant that like you were more dialed in than I was. And I guess by extension with 7 being famous, that like I kind of assumed that was part of it. Oh, simply as a character, not as a combatant. Interesting, interesting. Interesting, interesting. Oh, that was Zacula saying never played Final Fantasy 7. My bad. With those comments back to back, I misunderstood. I definitely don't remember thinking Barrett was a particularly cool character in that regard. I'll say that. I'll say that. So I guess I've only played Final Fantasy X and hated it, and 13 and hated it both for a couple hours, and 15 which I loved and played all the way through. That's so interesting. I missed out on 13. It looks really cool, but also, from what I understand, the gameplay seems kind of tedious. I played 15 and hated it. And 10 I liked, but I think I was like firmly in the target demographic for that. So the trick here is that I have to pass through the middle with one of each. So, how do I do that? I guess you could do some weird thing. No, that ends up with one. That's 2 purples. And that's not avoidable if you double back. Actually, that's not avoidable at all. Is it? Can I pick up both, drop off both? There's not enough space to double back, huh? It's funny, it seems like a lot of people who like Final Fantasy don't like 15 and don't like Final Fantasy love 15. I actually could hear an argument on that. I don't know if that's... I don't know if I have enough evidence to like wholeheartedly agree with that, but like that sounds plausible. At the very least, it might appeal more to people who aren't invested in the franchise. It's also largely a game about 4 gay men on a messy road trip. I mean, the thing is, like, I found the characters a little flat. I really liked the vibes, but, like, I wasn't really invested in the characters. But, like, it was really, like, the gameplay that, like, just bored me to tears. And then, like, since I, like, played it and found it either to be, like, frustrating if you weren't, like, adequately, like, leveled or whatever, and, like, tedious if you were, I remember watching a video on YouTube at some point where someone was being critical of Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy 15. I want to say they did like a full store rundown, and I remember like very little of it. But like they had this like massive criticism of like you can like literally play this game with like 2 buttons. Like you just like press this one button and then occasionally press the second button, but mostly press the one button and then you just beat the game, and like everything else is like the combat is so like not thought through that like there's just kind of a back door where you just like can beat the game without like playing it in a way that's like clearly intended. In order to pick up an orange, I have to drop off a purple. I guess I can do that. But like, if I don't end by driving down the middle, then how would I like pick up the orange and come back? Even if that's not true, how do I deal with that? So, I mean, that doesn't really allow a turnaround. So like that shouldn't make a difference. Well, you need to drop one off if you're trying this. So you could make sure to pick up the far one. Oh no, you pick up the far one and you drop off the far one, and then you get the other one and you go down the middle. I think that works. That's surprisingly tricky. That's actually like pretty straightforward, but for some reason, kind of hard to get there. Alright. Not meant as necessarily a criticism, but I don't necessarily find them to ascend in difficulty based on number. That seems to be largely true in Andromeda, but in Ursa Minor at least, I don't know that I necessarily feel that's true. Or rather, I feel that's necessarily not true. Another one that looks super duper easy. I sort of see the problem. Because, like, you could just, like, pick up two nerds and drop them off. But if you try to do the same thing on the other side, you're stuck. And they're opposite. So you can't kind of just pick up both the purples and then drop them off, because then you'll get stuck again. Did you say nodes? I'm pretty sure I said nodes, yeah. But you'd have to play it back or clip it or something, I'm not sure. Hopefully the recording holds. That's how I feel about Baba. The difficulty is kind of... I mean, in Baba, I don't think that... I think the numbers are made up and the points don't matter. Like, I don't think Baba has a legitimate difficulty curve. Like, it just has a series of puzzles. Which is, like, fine, but, like, I don't think that's a game where, like, the numbers are a useful benchmark at all. It feels like I should alternate. I then tried to cut across. Is there a window for some weird thing where I like pick up both of these guys and then drop them off? No, that doesn't seem good. Although, what's interesting is that by doing this, were I to like hypothetically pick up both purples and then cut through this corner, I would then automatically pick up orange without having to wrap around, because they're just the one space apart. So I believe the way it works is I empty that with the purple and then the orange jumps in. But if that was my goal, I would never be able to like pick up the other orange, wrap around, and leave. How does chat feel about this game, by the way? Both as a game and as a stream game. I mean, puzzle games are like a different kind of vibe, for sure. But, I don't know. I think it's cool. I think it's a good game. I'm very impressed with it. Yeah, that's very chill. I like that about it. It would be a good time to, like, plan a heist. You know, we don't have to focus on the action gameplay or anything. Soundtrack makes me sleepy. I feel like that's a feature. I don't know. Or it still doesn't really provide me an opportunity to save. I don't know why I'm doing the God of War thing. It definitely feels like I'm not trying to pick up both of the oranges first. It just feels like that doesn't work. Demolition likens the Baba's You difficulty curve to late game Blueprints, which Zachary responds. To be fair, Blueprints is a psychotic video game, which it is. I'm not sure I'm willing to hear an argument. I'm happy for people to enjoy it. It's a well-made game in many ways, and there are definitely parts of that game that I think are really good. And to be clear, I haven't finished it because I think it would perish if I tried or something. I don't know. I had a weird thought, like an intrusive thought today where I was like, maybe I'll just do it off stream. And I'm like, why would I, though? Do you think? But like, yeah, that's a game for psychopaths, first and foremost. Pick them up, put them down. Pick them up. No shot you do it off stream. What part of that makes you incredulous? I'll say this. I genuinely think I would be more likely to finish it off stream than on stream. Mostly because, like, it was really capable of invoking a type of fury that, like, is deeply counterproductive to streaming. Pick up, drop off, drop off. Hi, Critchwich, welcome to the stream. We're playing Cosmic Express, which is a chill game where I try to deliver aliens to color-coded train destinations. It's very puzzly, and occasionally quite challenging. I don't know why they're making it so hard. Look, I simply take the train here and it goes to the exit railway, and I don't see what the problem is. I don't know. I don't feel like I have very much insight on this. I will say there were some parts of Blueprints where I was like, I've never seen Vasco this flavor of mad before. It's like, it was a very serious type of mad. Because, like, listen, I like puzzle games. I like puzzle games. Puzzle games are challenging to design in that they're not necessarily something you can, like, inherently just overcome with a commitment of time. Sometimes you have to, like, work around the problem or have, like, a creative insight or something. And for various reasons, it's difficult to design a puzzle game that will, like, give the same or even a similar experience to different players trying to play through puzzles. So even as a person who likes puzzle games, I understand that, like, most puzzle games will be frustrating at times. And some puzzle games will just be doing a type of puzzle that doesn't mesh with what you enjoy doing. Now, Blueprints, when it's being like a roguelike, is really effective. Like, the earlier parts of Blueprints, I think, are really well done. And I think if, like, tweaked a little and that were the whole game, excellent game. Super great game that I would have only positive things to say. It reaches a point where, like, it does this thing that I really dislike, where it shifts its focus. I feel that most well-made puzzle games understand that the audience of a typical puzzle game likes to feel smart. And so, like, you create a challenging puzzle in whatever framework your game creates for them to overcome so that afterwards they feel smart. Like, this is the goal, right? Like, you know, in a first-person shooter, you like to feel, like, skilled and powerful, and, you know, you like to reach a level of mastery where, you know, you reliably get your shots off, and in a firefight, you know, you expect to be able to, like, kill a certain number of opponents or whatever, right? In a puzzle game, you want to be posed with some sort of logical challenge that you can reasonably be expected to overcome, and as a result get some sense of, like, accomplishment for, like, oh, like, I unlock a new area or a new cutscene, or, you know, depending on the game, like, maybe it's just like you watch a cute little train go to the next level. There's various levels that this works, but, like, you expect, like, some moderate level of acknowledgement for what you've completed. Late stage Blueprints has no interest in that. Late stage Blueprints, it wants to feel clever. I have a certain level of disdain for a puzzle game whose goal is to feel smarter than you. Because I have a hard time interpreting that as anything other than, like, pettiness or, like, ego on the part of the developer. Like, you can do it in, like, an overtly nasty way, or you can do it in a way where, like, the game just, like, ceases to be interesting. It's very smug, yes. Where, like, it just, like, it will present to you, like, a basically impossible puzzle. Like, Zacula, for example, I know you were there when we did the gallery, right? And we sort of collectively, like, worked on the gallery, and, like, with some context clues and, like, some crowdsourcing and some brute forcing, we managed to get some of them, and then, like, I think Demolition ended up giving hints for, like, some of the more esoteric ones in the end. But, like, it's just, like, for one, there's no reasonable level of expectation that, like, a normal human being can, like, put together the pieces that they put there. Like, they're truly, like, bonkers. Like, they just don't follow human logic at all. And, like, secondly, you know, you go to the trouble of completing some of these, like, absolutely, like, mind-boggling puzzles, and then, like, they'll give you, like, half a raffle ticket. And then they, like, won't give you context for, like, what half a raffle ticket does, or what a full raffle ticket does. And then, because the late stage blueprints is built on top of a roguelike, in a lot of cases, you'll, like, get some sort of, like, weird non-accomplishment like that, and then, like, it just, like, evaporates at the end of the day. Because, like, there aren't that many things in the game that are, like, truly permanent. There are some, and there are some that are, like, kind of permanent. But, like, a lot of things, like, they're all meant to be done in a self-contained day because it's built on the structure of a roguelike, which doesn't really play nicely with a puzzle game, which wants you to be able to, like, revisit things at will when you, like, oh, I was, like, not playing the game and I was thinking about it, and I, like, realized what I should do in, like, the drawing room. And then, like, you don't see the drawing room for, like, 6 in-game days. Like, there's multiple problems that sort of, like, intersect in the way that the game is designed. So, like, there are a lot of things that the game does well, and there are some things that the game does, like, good, but I would do differently, and there's some things that the game does, like, insanely, that, like, a rational person could not conceive of. And, like, I want to be able to appreciate the game in its fullest, but, like, the things that it does bad, it does so, like, aggressively badly, it makes me really upset. Partially because of the smugness, where, like, it just feels like it feels like the game is being self-congratulatory for, like, making these, like, impossible, like, I could make a puzzle game that's, like, impossible to solve too. That's not clever. Like, making a game that's, like, hard to solve but, like, reasonably solvable is even that, I think, is, like, borderline. Like, making a difficult challenge and building a game that makes it so your expected average player base can do something that's very difficult. That's impressive. But, like, just making a thing that can't be solved isn't impressive. And the fact that the game feels like it is reveling in the fact that it has done this on a regular basis is very vexing. I don't know. I have strong feelings about puzzle games, and, like, some of them maybe aren't wholly rational in and of themselves, but I just find blueprints kind of triggering. Is there, like, a way where I could drop off? Ooh, maybe that's something. What if I picked up purple and orange and dropped off one orange? And then what? And then pick up orange? And like, you know, again, like a lot of the problems with blueprints are sort of compounded by the roguelike elements. But like it's also the case where like it can be really difficult to know like where you would even go to like look for information because like you might just like never see a room that has a clue to like the thing that you want to solve. Like it's such a bizarre way of like designing a thing. And it feels to me like if you had done if you had designed the overall thing to accommodate and account for the drawbacks that the cool roguelike engine provides to the really esoteric puzzle stuff, that would be a really impressive feat. And I absolutely don't feel like that was even the intention. Came off like the puzzle designers were just sitting there like, let's see someone solve it. Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, just like, you idiot, good luck. So do this, and then when you drop off the second orange, you pick up the other purple. Is this something? Pick up orange, pick up purple, drop off one orange, pick up second orange, drop off second orange while getting second purple, drop off both purple, leave. I don't know how I solved this one, because it wasn't like I was working through that. I just, like, got really mad at blueprints again and then looked at it, and I was like, what if I hit the corner? So I must also solve 11 in order to get whatever's over here. Okay. I don't want to be streaming too late because I know my mom wants to get up early tomorrow, and I know that she'll feel obliged to finish watching the stream. I think I would like to look at one other system to get just like a sense of how it would introduce another puzzle element. And then, like, you all can let me know if you're interested in seeing a little bit more of this on stream. Again, I don't know how long it is. I don't know if people are interested in watching a whole game like this get played through. I think this is really cool. Does anyone have a preference between Vela, Taurus, Delphinus, or Perseus? We'll hit up, like, one or two more, maybe, if they're... until we hit one that's like tricky, and then we'll revisit. Or consider revisiting anyway. What about... what was the first... so the first one you unlock is Ursa. So maybe we should just sort of continue the number escalation. I'll do Delphinius. So this just adds a third color of guy. So you like pick them up, drop them off, pick them up, drop them off, raw hide. I mean, obviously it's the first one in the new zone. Ooh. Oh no, he has a special trait, is that he's stinky. Okay, took that for granted. It's not simply there's another color, there's a new rule with the other color. It's interesting. Minor nuclear war here from stress between others. Brother, I'm familiar with the concept. It's been a long year. Alright, so that still shouldn't be that hard. We just hit up purple first and then do my brother in stink. It was a very sweaty day. We're back to one car, of course, because this was an early zone unlock. I assume green is fine with... yeah, green is fine with that. I didn't even see the green guy at first. Okay, so... let me try something. I want to learn something. Obviously, this wouldn't, like, complete the level, but, like, will I pick up an orange man if I have green slime? Does only purple hate that, or does everyone hate that? Everybody didn't like that. Okay. So... that's actually a little tricky. I guess you could just do a big C to drop off the green at the end. So you, like, get the purple. Ooh. No, start with the orange. Yeah, start with the orange. Get hand. Yeah. Yeah, this should be relatively easy. Boop. Just kidding. Because it's right up against the exit. That's interesting. What's the alternative? Zagging through the middle seems good. Maybe you just have to do it from the top. Yeah, I think that works. I just... Nope. Hang on. Please go back. Hello? Save me? So get orange, drop off orange. Get purple, drop off purple. Get orange, drop off orange. Get green. Don't touch the exit. Drop off green. Touch the exit. This game is just really aesthetically appealing. I mean, like, the atmosphere of the sound effects and the music are also very effective in just, like, creating a good vibe that I like, but... it's interesting, because, like, it is a type of game where, like, if you see, like, a bunch of levels at a glance in, like, a trailer or something, I feel like it just kind of washes over you. You just, like, don't really, like, think too hard about it, but, like, it's kind of a lot going on in all these levels. For Blueprints, I could live with everything it does. It really needed to make RNG more manageable. I think that's a really big, like, legitimate issue. Like, some of the stuff that I don't like, I can definitely understand either, like, not bothering people or not bothering them nearly as much or that type of thing. But, like, I really do feel like for them to, like, expect the player to deal with some of the puzzles on the scale that they are, that, like, including a level of RNG is, like, really, like, spiteful. Like, it's just, like, unpleasant. Oh yeah, does it still not have, like, midday saves? I know it, like, didn't, and I feel like there were at least, like, rumors that, like, they were gonna add that. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the, so, like, a while, like, the 1 year that I, like, actually went to San Diego Comic-Con, my, like, sister managed to, like, get me, like, a day pass for Sunday, I think, for free? I don't think she paid for it, but I don't remember. But, like, it was when I, like, still lived in LA, and she was sort of like, hey, I got, like, do you want to, like, drive out to, San Diego? And I was like, I guess. I've never done it before. Let's go. And I went there, and, like, one of the first things I saw there was this cute little, like, comic book thing, like a small scale thing where, like, the creators just insisted that, like, the characters not use words because they wanted it to, like, convey a universal meaning. And there was something that, like, really resonated with me about it. Because it had, like, a kind of, in a way, like, a similar style to this, where it was just, like, cute little animals and telling, like, a story about, like, the animals, like, living together in the woods. And, like, I think they, like, had... I think they might have had, like, limited use of speech bubbles that sort of conveyed, like, an almost, like, emoji style, like, emotion. But, like, a lot of it was just sort of, like, just showing the animals, like, interacting. I don't know. But, like, ever since then, I've thought about, like, what a cool idea it is to create something that, like, doesn't require language for people to share and appreciate the same experience. Blueprint still doesn't have the save. You can only suspend the game or keep it in memory. That's some hot dog water, man. Okay. So you have to do both the orange before the green. Is it... How about I, like, touch the orange? No, that wouldn't make sense. Would it? No, that doesn't make sense. I'm gonna, like, pick up, drop off around back. Pick up, drop off. Nah, it doesn't work. Pick up, drop off. No, the dropping off is the problem, not the picking up. I don't think it's feasible to cut around the other way, is it? Pick him up, drop him off. Pick him up. You'd never be able to pick up green again. Can I carry one? Pick him up, drop him off. Pick him up. No, pick him up, drop him off. If I go around the outside, he can't come back. Speaking of, I had a 7-Eleven hot dog the other day for the first time in a while. It was somehow worse than I remembered, but surprisingly good at the same time. It's been a while since I've had 7-Eleven. I gotta be honest, I have actually been thinking of just, like, going to the 7-Eleven. I feel like they have, like, snacks there that, like, other stores in Florida don't seem to have, and for some reason I was, like, really compelled to, like, seek out weird snacks I can't have. Some sort of forbidden fruit, except not at all fruit. Some sort of highly processed, pre-packaged thing. Wish we had the Japanese 7-Elevens that are cool and have real food. I mean, it would be cool. And there'd be real food. Am I overthinking this? I go around the outside. I just drop him off. No, I tried that and it doesn't make sense. But... drop off. No, why would I think that would work? You're completely boxed in. Pick up. Drop off. Drop off, pick up. Oh, hold on. I'm not actually touching the orange one. Bad job. Oh, but if I cut that close, then I can't cut back. That's not it either. Big fan of processed food. I think processed food's bad reputation is overblown and at least partially undeserved. I'm inclined to think that, but also I'm a processed food believer. I mean, there are certainly times in this life where, like, Taylor Farms is making diarrhea salad for everyone, where it's like, yeah, who's laughing now? Natural food idiots? But, like, I don't know. I think there's probably degrees of food being processed and how bad that is. I don't know that I'm necessarily informed enough to, like, really make a distinction. This might be stream end point, though. Because I'm trying not to keep my mom up super late, and it's already 12:22. Didn't expect the third one to get me. Now we pick up green. I've done it. I've done it. I mean, I could work this backwards, right? Like, I just need to be able to, like, connect... That's a fun noise. So is there a way I could, like, connect to, like, roughly this end point and get all the other business done? While also touching green? I would have to, like, not... So, like, drop that guy off. Yeah, but you can't drive this way because you'll pick up green, and green makes it stinky. Oh, that almost does it, doesn't it? That's kind of close. Pick him up, drop him off, be able to pick this guy up. Drop him off. I just like the way they're positioned from here. I can't pick him up before connecting to this, or I'd be fine. But I do think it makes sense, like... I think this is the least invasive way that you can expect to, like, end after picking up green last. So you should be able to engineer such a course. But I do kind of think you have to loop around in order to be able to, like, get from here to here. Just feel like brain is shutting down. I don't think I'm opposed to the help, but I think the problem is just that I'm like not actually really like thinking about this on a level where I'm like going to make progress. So like rather than like have someone else solve it for me, I think I'd rather just like do this another time if people wanted to like continue streaming this. It's been like a miserable week and kind of a long day. Kind of surprised we made as much progress as we did. Some of those were pretty hard. But I really like the scaling here where it's like done in chunks and then resets, where like a lot of like kind of linear puzzle games we'll struggle at a point where it's just sort of like, well, like now you have to just kind of do everything and the whole game seems like undoable. But like, you know, some manage to work around a conceit like this where like each system kind of introduces a new rule. And like I definitely can imagine a point where like I have no idea how far the map extends or whatever, but like I can imagine a world where like you reach maybe like a final system, you maybe go through like a wormhole and like find a final system where you incorporate all the stuff from all the different systems or whatever, and like then you get like the super hard end game or whatever. But like they've managed to do a really good job of like scaling stuff for the most part, where like even if it's not like perfectly linear, at least to my experience, like it still generally feels like Stuff is mostly solvable, and if you like really focused on it, the game has taught you enough that you can like do it. But like I am conscious of my mom's time here. She's been very generous with her time lately. I'm gonna save and quit. And also, frankly, I'm a little tired and definitely concerned about the hard drive thing. Love to spend more money on hard drive. But I really like this game. I was expecting to like it, but I'm more impressed with it than I thought I would be. I kind of thought it might either be, and you know, it's a little judging a book by its cover, but I thought like the cutesy graphics might imply that it's actually just like super easy and it's just sort of like a breezy, fun, quick whatever. Or like, you know, it's I guess the easy comparison to make would be like, or it's like Baba Is You, and like it's not that Baba Is You is bad, but it reaches this like zenith of difficulty really quickly, where it's just kind of like demoralizing, and it's less fun to play in like a remotely casual kind of way. You have to be like fully locked in to like really make progress. And I feel like this is a good balance where you can like puzzle and have fun, but there's still difficulty to it, and there's enough like breadth to it that like you can feasibly move around and try and like gradually build a better sense of just like how the levels work, and like leverage that to maybe solve stuff that you didn't understand before. Like that seems plausible in a way that puzzle games don't always manage to do. But also like the vibes are great and it does look really cute, and I don't know, I'm really liking it. It's very fun. Baba Is You does reach a point where it's just beyond me. I mean, like, I feel like I wonder what kind of like achievement data exists for like what percentage of players actually finish Baba Is You. Like, I legitimately think Baba Is You is a really good game, and I doubt I'll ever finish that game. It sounds incredibly tedious. Yeah, like I feel like people who would like solve it at least like without a walkthrough, and of course there's like no way to like incorporate that into you know, that kind of data realistically, but like people who like actually just like solve it for fun, like seems like it'd be like a really low percentage. The perfect challenging but fun puzzle game is Antichamber. Antichamber is an excellent game. I remember Day 9 is like a streamer I've like watched a lot of his content, and like for a long time he like mentioned Antichamber, and like one day I like went back and like watched his playthrough of Antichamber. That game is sick. It's really good at doing that. Like there's definitely some like really hard stuff in there, but like so much of it is just like really effective at like building off of either a logical assumption you have based on what's provided to you, or something else that's in the game and building upon it. Like I don't know, it's there are very few things in that game that seem like an unreasonable kind of difficulty. Well, we're no longer experiencing train time. We are experiencing end of stream time, so that I can get around to like doing some editing that doesn't sound fun. Before we go, take a look around. I've put a bunch of plush friends on display, and among them I've hidden some number of secret Squirtles. If one was able to locate where one of these Squirtles was hidden, it would be an omen of good luck for you in the coming days. So I encourage you to look around and see if you can find where I may have hidden a Squirtle. Train, Cusco. I feel like perhaps I don't know. How upset will people be on the occasions that there aren't Squirtles behind the train? It's happened before, but yesterday there was a threat of riot. Can I not put the train out? Because people will be upset every time the train isn't included when we're playing train games? Plush that I know what it is. Come now, Zachula, you're an expert in plush. I mean, like, you know what this one is, right? Zachula, you could tell me what this plush is, right? It's an easy one. You know this. First thing that comes to your mind. You need a gag where one day the only plush is the train. It would also be funny if I like really committed and like got like 15 other train plush and then put them out. And then like everyone guessed train and then I did something weird. I don't know what the funny result with that would be. But I just like treat all of the guesses as different. Just be like, oh, like Neko guessed train. And then I just like choose one at random and like assume that's the one she was like talking about. It's one of them hairless cats, but something's wrong with it. Some kind of disease, maybe. Yeah, but like, what's the name of that? The diseased cat that you love. This one that you like a lot. You do have some other that's true. I do have. I think around Christmas I was seriously thinking about bringing over. I have this from when I was younger, like a little, like felt or fabric or something like train station that has these like little velcro doors that like hold little tiny Thomas the Tank Engine friends, and like it like unzips into this little like train track playmat for you to play with them on. It's one of the sickest things I've ever owned. Incredibly cool. All right, let's go. I didn't see a guess from your Twitch. Feel free to drop one in chat if you're interested. I will try to redeem those. So, Neko had guessed Ursa Ring, hadn't she? Because of the moon and space and trains, I think. Gym. Yeah, this one looks like a gym. I think you got it. So, Neko's guess. Squirtle there behind Ursa Ring. Guess behind Cusco, also a Squirtle, and believe it or not, so I'll bring it over. Behind the train, also Squirtle. And the funny thing about it is, I felt like when I first got Cusco, I was putting him on display too much, and then I felt bad because I hadn't put him on display in a while, and I was like, what can I do to incorporate Cusco? And for some reason, the thing that came to mind, thank you for the giant Super Squirtle, very, very good. For some reason, the thing that came to mind is like the moment in Emperor's New Groove where like Cusco goes to like make a promise by shaking hands, and then he goes back on it and he says, ha, no hands. And then I was like trying to think of like a way to like reasonably apply no hands, and like the more I thought about it, people would just like argue that like some like a flipper is basically like a hand of a fish or something. And I was like, listen, I'm just gonna put out a bunch of things that have specialized hands, like specialized limb part. So I've got like claws and fins and hooves and things, and basically everything out here. I mean, like the wheels are the limbs of the train, just like the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Of this imaginary argument you had in your head with chat. The thing is, I just don't want people to like. It's already a stupid conceit of the stream to begin with, and not everyone likes it to begin with. So like, what I don't want to do is like have to have a fight with chat about it. Also, I'm insanely neurotic, and I feel like you should know this about me already. How did the train hide that big Squirtle? It was an effort. I really had to carefully position it because it's like roughly train sized. Who doesn't like Secret Squirtle? I mean, several people won't guess even if they're here at the end of the stream, which is fine. They're under no obligation to do it, but I don't think everyone likes it. It's even though like I've never gotten a specific complaint about it, it is the reason I started putting like chapter marks on my YouTube uploads. It's just so like people know that the rest of the stream is Squirtle or whatever, and then they can do with that what they will. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. I had a lot of fun with this. I hope you did too. You can let me know in the Discord what you feel about revisiting this. I think I'd like to do at least one more stream of this. Like if we hit like a wall where we're not making progress and it just kind of feels like we're staring at the screen, maybe I'll do the rest off stream or something. But like, I think this game's a lot of fun. It's a really like carefully done puzzle game that's a delightful environment and cute little guys, and like I don't know, it's everything I could have hoped for. I'm really happy with it. I encourage you to go and buy it for yourself if you're interested, because supporting indie devs is cool, and I happen to get this for free, and it's not sponsored, but I happen to like this, so just an option to consider. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being you, and I hope to see you again soon. Until I do, take care of yourselves, and remember that you are clawsome.